this for
Yep,
reactions,
so
external ones.
You can assist, so go ahead and take that Arcana with advantage.
Oh, I can? He's like, okay, tell me how you what do you feel?
It's exactly what he's all over you with it.
Give me a second to second update of what's going through your head. All right, so I'll
start
incorporate.
Describing the mouthfeel of the potion.
Give it a sniff. Kind of slush it around a little bit. What notes am I getting from the smell of this?
It's a heady aroma. It got a damp earthiness to it.
Okay. I mean, that's familiar at least. So after kind of eyeballing it for a second, she kind of gives a cheers to the group and takes a swig. You said with advantage?
Yep, with advantage.
16.
Okay. So you get the little sip on your tongue. You kind of roll it around, play with it a little bit, eventually swallow it. It is a protective magic. You feel it would assist you in resisting fire damage.
Mm.
So you most adventurers have had a sampling of potions in the past. This one reminds you enough of that you're like, yeah, this is one of those protective ones, and it's probably a protection from fire. So go ahead and mark that down as a potion of fire resistance.
All right.
And right now you feel like you could eat a chili pepper and not notice.
Fair enough.
All right, so let's start planning and see where you guys are at. So you're currently standing in what was once the Hall of the Goblin King. Dern, the Hobgoblin, who was the Goblin King, is now 80-some feet below. Kind of a macabre mockery of a king, as he was thrown from his throne, tumbled down, and landed. Well, let's see it. He's still going to try it. Let's see if we can make it.
Whilst dying of poison, too.
Whilst dying of poison. Yes, he was thrown from his throne, dying of poison, stripped of his kingly raiment at the last second, and then allowed to fall down the tunnel into the mulch. As he tumbled...
His face.
What's that?
So the poison needle got shoved into his face, I believe.
Poison needle in the face.
Yeah.
So, Sean, can you hear us?
Can you feel us near you?
Hello?
Hello?
Yay!
Hello?
Okay, I can indeed hear you. You're a bit robot-y, but I can hear you.
You sound...
So, you guys are standing in the hall of the once Goblin King. He has been thrown down from his throne. He tumbled the 80 feet down, landing in the mulch pile. He happened to land so that his head hit first, bent his neck at a very odd angle, and then his shattered legs followed along him. So from 80 feet below, he has actually been staring up at you guys from between his own thighs. Not at all a dignified position. There has been a little bit of movement that the kobolds reported around his body, but his body has remained there, and you have not seen any more movement within the hour or so that passed. His body sits there, sunk in about a foot into the mulchy earth below. The vines that line the walls of the hole look as though they would provide good handholds. It is an 80-foot descent. There is light from the purple illumination, and there are torches up here as well. And below, down the 80 feet, you can see there's more of that purplish glow So you don't think you'd have a horrible time seeing, even if it were the only light down there.
Who's going down
What would
first?
Kneeling down and kind of like tugging and testing at the stuff surrounding the edge of the pit. How sturdy do they seem? Like how difficult of a climb do I think this might be?
This looks like it would be a fairly easy climb, but it would be a climb.
Right.
For those of you who don't have a climb speed, it would definitely be the difficult terrain style, 2-for-1 movement. It's
Right.
about 80 feet down, so to take you a little bit of time, you could certainly slide, clamber down, and be down at the bottom reasonably safety within, 30 seconds or so. But a controlled descent would take you a little bit longer. You don't see any real trouble spots, and as you kind of tug at the vines, it looks like other people have climbed up and down on these before, so most of the vines that looked as though they were going to be pulled away have already been pulled away. What's left are pretty dug into the rock,
Okay.
vine.
Fair enough. I'll just let everybody know. Like it all looks pretty stable as long as you've got a sturdy grip.
I mean, looking down, you're like, all right. And I do not have a climb speed, so
Well, yeah.
it's going to be a trudge.
Do. Yeah, and I'll
Who's it? Athletics to?
Actually, you guys, if you're moving at a normal speed, it's not even a check. These are just like climbing down a ladder, except it's an everywhere ladder.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, I'll drop down and start to vine ladder my way down, I guess.
Okay.
Izzy will follow.
So it's about 80 feet. The hole itself is about 15, almost 20 feet across. So you could all climb down at different parts. You could go, one following after the other. What's sort of the idea? Are you trying to get down at the same time, or is somebody going first?
Izzy
Malik is going to go first.
Like Izzy is just like, if everyone's just standing around staring at the hole, she'll start climbing down.
Yeah, basically the same. Like if it looks like it's going to need to like watch each other's back for it, then I'm just going to start climbing.
Okay. Now the kobolds do come over and kind of peek down the edge and watch you go down and wish you good luck. Assure you that none of the stuff will be left by the time you get back. That's cool. And you all start your descent. Now, the first 50 or so feet, all you can see down at the bottom is the bottom of the tunnel. You just see the direct, 15 to 20 foot spread across from you. You do notice that the rock changes. The first, 10 feet or so of stone is cut. It looks like you're climbing down what was at one point part of, a stairwell. But then there's about 30 feet of rough stone that looks like it had jutted into the castle and then been bored through later on. So this is natural stone face that the vines have grown into. And then a little further down, you start coming back into the tower stairwell again. And that continues on down to the bottom. At the bottom, as you're getting closer, you can see there's probably a 8-foot section where the vines hang down, but the wall has stopped. So the last couple of feet, you'll be climbing just the vines. You won't have a wall behind it backing it. You do notice Dern's body still embedded in the ground there. And you can see some shadows being cast in that lichen light moving about. So there is something in whatever chamber exists beneath you. The way that the vines are and the way that the hole is, you're not really going to be able to see them until you've kind of hit that bottom set.
But somewhere past the vines.
But somewhere, basically, that 8-foot curtain, that last 8-foot curtain of vines obscures your view, but you can tell outside them there is something moving around.
Okay.
Who's going to be the first one, or are you all kind of trying to hang drop that last 8 feet at the same time?
Izzy's good at falling.
Okay.
Okay.
Give Izzy's vine a little shake there. Izzy, you go ahead.
When she reaches the end, she'll just be like, okay, now it's time to drop down.
Okay.
Yeah. Same.
Kind
All
of
right. So that
look
sounds
around.
like everybody's going to be kind of dropping in around the same time. So let's do a little drag and drop here. And everything should go black.
Yep.
And then in the upper left-ish area, you guys should start seeing something appear in a second. And there's an Izzy. And there's a Darvin. There's a Thara. And a Malik. And a Kira. And can everyone start to see?
Nope.
Nope.
Nope. Which option I forgot to hit? All the buttons.
Kitty.
That one wasn't mine.
That's mine.
Oh, hello. All right. Advanced fog of war enabled. Dim light reveals. Dynamic lighting. Enforced sight. Restrict movement.
Come here. Shh, come here.
I can see if that matters for once.
You said top left, right?
Bottom.
Oh. Bottom?
There.
Oh, there we go. Okay.
Okay.
I can see.
about
I can see my token, and that's it.
you can see your token, and that's it. So let's see who's. Because Darvin, I probably don't have your light spell on, which is 40-20. Darvin's got the light spell on his shield, right?
Yes.
All right, 40-20.
Oh, there's all the things.
Oh, there's a bunch of things now. Okay, cool. Let's check.
Yep, there. Oh, many things. Okay.
All right, you got the 60-0. You're good. You got. Who's carrying the ever-burning candle? That was Thara, correct?
Thara, I think.
Yep. I was the one that latched onto that.
You got your candle.
Well.
Malik. All right. And you. All right. All right. So everyone should be able to see. And what you are seeing is you're in a room that is square. You can see the hole up above you and the encircling ring of vines. The room's about 60 feet across and 60 feet long. On the north side, the wall is broken down, and you can see it kind of leaves off to a natural-looking cave. On the east and southeast corners, you can see there are doors carved into it. The floor is covered in loose mulch, turned up soil, bits of vegetation, bits of refuse, and bits of waste. And littered about are small fungal growths and actually larger fungal growths. It looks like this entire area is being used to farm mushrooms and to compost soil. Scattered about are a half dozen robed figures carrying farm implements, shovels, rakes, but the robes hang on their bodies oddly because there's no flesh. They are just robed skeletons, and you can see as soon as they move, their skeletal hands gripping the implements, and they all turn to look towards you as you drop those last few feet. And at the same moment, 3 twig blights form up and move to attack. So, if we can kick off with an initiative. And we're going to be doing some groupie initiative here. Malik, you rolled surprisingly well. Can he still?
Oh yeah, baby, I'm
You're
back.
Are you really back?
I'm in and out, so I don't. It's hard to tell exactly when you're talking, so I've just been keeping quiet.
No problem. The twig blights, scrabbling and scratching, are the fastest amongst you. Following that, Malik, Thara, Izzy, and Kira all act on the same moment, followed by Darvin, who is apparently tangled up in the vines, and lastly, the skeletons. So the twig blights do rush forward and make their attacks. 2 on Thara, 1 on Darvin. And our twig blights scrabbling and clawing. Thara first. 1 set of claws, 2 sets of claws.
Ugh. Those are both. So it's a total of 10.
Total of 10, opening up quickly.
All right.
Darvin, 1 set of claws. Not going to do so much on Darvin, though. Hard pass. And that's going to bring up the party. Who would like to go first among the party? Or would you like to divvy it up by initiatives?
Just go in the order that we ended up in.
You got it. Malik, that gives it to you as the first go. There are twig blights, and then beyond them, skeletons. The twig blights have just messed up Thara pretty good. But the skeletons are still waiting to bring their implements of farmhood down upon you.
Okay, I'm going to go towards the twig blights because he has a personal vendetta against them.
You got it.
Try to smash him with his axe.
All right, so you move forward past Kira towards the nearest twig blight. You swing down with your axe. Malik's got an axe somewhere, I'm sure of it. With his great axe, he swings. 9, not going to do it.
Keeping that Malik luck up.
Keeping it up there.
Consistency.
It was something else pushing the buttons. Just 1 attack for you at this point?
Yeah, that's all I can do.
You got it. So swing and a miss on the twig blights. That'll bring up speedy little Thara, standing next to Malik.
Yeah, she, her eyes narrow down at this twig blight infestation, and both of them having got their claws into her. And she blinks out both blades and starts to Cuisinart them. First attack against the one to the top.
Okay.
15.
15 will hit.
For 10.
10 will completely destroy. That's not even a twig blade anymore.
And 11 on the second.
11 will not hit.
Okay. And then I will shift to here, I guess, to leave room if somebody else needs to maneuver around. And just kind of keeping my focus is on the twig blights, but I'm kind of side-eyeing the skeletons for whenever they start moving.
You got it. That'll bring up Izzy.
Izzy's gonna step up this way. And short sword.
Oh.
Crazy short sword attack.
Oh, crap. No, never mind. I didn't get advantage on that one because I didn't react to this round. Never mind.
Again. No more twig blight left there.
Boosh, okay. So she
2 twig blights down, 1 remains. Looks to be 5 skeletons in the room.
gonna continue up this way. She has the offhand swing in the process. Not so much.
Not so much on the skeleton.
Right through the rib cage.
Nothing there but air. No meat on them bones. But that'll bring up Kira.
So since we've been attacking the twig blights, have we noticed like these skeletons? Were they like aggressive as soon as the twig blights were? Or?
It all happened right about the same time. They are all aggressing towards you, though.
Gotcha. Cool.
The twig blights were much faster, though.
All right. I'm gonna come down next to Malik and try and burn the shit out of the last twig blight. Actually, maybe. Guess if I'm in such close quarters, I will stab instead. So I don't know what's down here. I don't want to light it all on fire.
Your dagger has done you well in the past, and it does so again. And that reduces the twig blight to tinder.
I'll just kind of turn and pivot on my leg and face the skeleton with the dagger.
All right. You hold the skeleton at bay for the moment. That will bring up Darvin. Twig blights have fallen. 5 skeletons remain. Measuring is happening.
Was that it, or was it one before? Sorry, hold on. Yeah, okay. All right, so everybody's within 30 feet. I'll channel Turn Undead.
Okay.
Get off your lawn, I guess.
So Darvin rushes forward amidst the skeletons, brandishes his holy symbol, demands that they leave their own lawn, and would you have that one handy? What are they rolling against here?
It's going to be 13. I don't have it as a spell.
That's all right. Wisdom saving throw on a 13.
Yep.
What the heck? Well, apparently my macros don't work anymore. So neat. We're going to go clockwise. 1, 2, 3. Very scared. Very scared. Not scared. Not scared. Very scared. So, 3 of the skeletons look as though they wish to take flight. 2 remain undeterred by your presence. Any additional actions?
After that, and seeing that the one closest to me was not exactly afraid of Vistra, I'll cast Shillelagh as my bonus action and draw my quarterstaff.
Okie doke.
Be
Yeah, it
ready.
looks as though he might have been, looking the other way. He didn't see your amazing display. But
Do I get attack of opportunity on that?
you will get far away from the camp. Go and use dodge. So yeah, correct. You may take your attack of opportunity.
Swipe.
Very yes.
Smack. Pokey.
It does pokey, but it does not destroy. He can't go that way. Can't go that way. So he's just going to step there, and then he's going to use the dodge action because he can't go any further as he just sort of tries to scrabble past you. The one standing next to Darvin and the other are going to take advantage of his bravery and try and hit him. Short sword number 1. Yeah. Short sword number 2. Probably no.
No, Charles not going to do it.
But 8 points of damage as the skeletons cast aside their implements of farming and draw implements of warfare. And that's going to bring us to the top of the round. Twig blights have been eliminated. The thing is going to happen in secret.
That's always fun.
So, Sean, to keep you in the loop, right now Casey's rolling initiatives for things that weren't on the map before.
Yep.
So it'll be fine.
It'll be all right. So let's see here. Darvin, go ahead and give me a perception check. Izzy, also give me a perception check.
Perception. Click.
Oh yeah, you guys spot this one coming a mile away. So from the north, you guys hear it coming, and then you glance over and see it coming. 2 enormous rats are barreling out of the cave to the north. Behind them, a massive bugbear carrying several javelins. They're all running low as if they were going to be approaching you stealthily. But whatever cover they were expecting to have, and possibly it's the steam and fumes that are rising off the mulch they were thinking to slide in under, too much of it's moving out of the way, and you guys see them coming as they move towards the softer earth. Kira, though, you get the first go. You've got a skeleton who would very much like to move past you directly in front of you. Oh, I heard a crackle, but I didn't hear any voices.
Sorry. Alright, seeing that this nasty, semi-robed, scared figure wants to scramble past Malik and I will kindly move out of the way. Back over here. And, help Darvin out, because he just saved us. I'm gonna shoot at that one.
That will definitely hit. And that will cause the skeleton to burn, but it remains standing.
And that is it for now.
It was a -6.
I'll just kind of turn, point towards the rats, because Darvin's probably pretty distracted with what's going on in front of him.
Darvin's got a lot going on. Izzy, the skeletons that were confronting you have run away. You did get a strike in on one as it left. And now you see rats approaching.
I think right now, because Darvin's having issues, these guys just screwed off up into the corner, so she's gonna run after and try to help Darvin before those things get here.
Okay.
So she's gonna run to there, and short sword.
That will definitely hit.
I'll do a short sword. Sneak
Also
attack
definitely hit.
works, or did you roll no on sneak attack on dead things? I don't remember.
Sneak attack does work. You can sneak attack anything, as long as you have your friend handy.
So
7, 4, 12, 16 damage.
yes.
That is enough to reduce what was once a animate skeleton to an inanimate skeleton. It falls, crumbling, the necrotic energies dispersing, and it is no mo. Any additional movement or actions?
No. She's gonna turn towards the rats and brace herself for incoming.
You got it. Thara, skeleton to your south, it looks like it's going to be fleeing. 3 other skeletons to your north. One that was turned seems to have ceased its attempt to escape and turn back, having been struck by Izzy. But the only one close to one of your friends would be the one south of Darvin.
Right. But I didn't spot the things coming in from the tunnel either yet.
You know they're there. They have been exposed. They've been called out.
Well, yeah, if this one that's down by me and Malik seems to clearly be not a threat at the moment. Yeah, getting this one cleared off Darvin would be a good plan. So she's going to start speeding her way across the mulchy, mushy ground. I'm going to do a 5, 10, 15. And first attack. Is that a miss?
It will miss.
Okay. Second attack. Definitely a miss.
2 misses on the skeleton. He is evading like greased lightning.
Oh, man. If I'd gone one square over, I would have had advantage on those. I didn't think about that. Okay. Well, yeah, just for future business. So this is if Darvin decides to attack, it'll help too, and then I'll just shift one more spot over to flank this one.
You got it.
And I'm out of things.
All right, so that'll bring it around to Malik. Sean, you currently have a skeleton that is turned, running past you to the south. You've got a skeleton that Thara and Darvin have flanked to your northeast. 2 skeletons in the very far northwest corner of the room, probably just out of your range without a run. And then 2 rats and a bugbear that are joining the battle but they're to the north and again out of your reach. Easiest target seems to be the skeleton that's pinned in by Darvin and Thara.
Yeah, I'll go try and help finish that guy off.
Alrighty. You draw up alongside it. It is flanked, so you have flanking. You will what are you attacking with?
My great axe.
Great axe indeed. Great axe 17 rolled. That will hit. Swing on the damage. 8 points of slashing damage to the skeleton. And that skeleton crumbles and falls.
I did a thing.
You did do a thing.
Yay!
Things have been done. I don't see any movement that would be particularly advantageous to you at this point. I don't think you have any bonus actions, etc.
Yeah. I'll just wait and prepare for those big dudes.
You got it. Oh, actually, you could, if you want to be the sacrificial lamb, you could move up right in front of Izzy and take the brunt of the charge.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Now, here's the thing I did want to bring up, because wasn't Sean gone last time he played? I know he said he had a short rest, but his hit points are still way down. Did he?
Oh, and that's just me not updating him. Hang on here.
Okay. I didn't know if he had spent anything during the short rest or not.
He woulda, shoulda, and I just didn't notice he was low. So let's get him back up to where he would be. Thank you for noticing that one. That would have been upsetting in a second. Because two rats do streak forward as the bugbear calls out, "Fetch them! Ready them for the cook pots!" And the rats streak to either side of Malik, turn and bite at him. And rats, where'd you go, rats? So Malik, rat number 1. Rat number 2.
Oh, damn.
Rat number 1 does crit for 8 points of damage. Rat number 2 rolls a 17. That will, on Malik, hit for 5 for a total of 13 points of damage.
Jesus.
It's a good thing I reminded you about the healing.
That is a very good thing that you're reminded about the healing. Stepping up to be the tough guy, he takes it.
Thanks, bud.
Unfortunately, that also leaves him facing Balzag, the bugbear, who is content to let his rats rush forward and hurls a javelin at you from about 15 feet back. But no, not even close. And that brings us to round 2, Darvin, who I'm going to skip, but then go back to. Darvin, Malik has taken a bit of damage. Skeletons are falling left and right. Twig blights are eliminated. What you doing?
All right. I mean, I guess I'll step to this side. And then I will I'll just regular action out a booming blade, seeing that there's rats. Malik's in danger, but he's not in immediate danger. The bugbear isn't closing. And I'll roll with advantage for that. 12?
Well, actually does hit the giant rat.
All right.
So that does hit. Now, you cast Shillelagh earlier. Does that stack with Booming Blade?
Yeah, all it does is it changes my to hit from strength to wisdom.
Gotcha.
So I kind of just channel that mystic guidance
and you
instead of having to force it on people. Yeah.
Factored in there, and you rolling 0 equals 0?
That's only for if they move afterwards. There's a thunder damage aspect.
Gotcha. So that rat will take 11 points of damage, and that rat can't handle 11 points of damage. That rat is a bloody mess on the ground. It is not entirely destroyed, though. And you hear Ballsag call out, "No, Fang!" Very upset. Any additional movement or activity from you?
Let's see, that was 1, 2. So that was 2 before 3. I'll move to there.
Okie doke.
Oh, that was really bad. Okay. Yeah, that was bad.
All right. Robe Skeletons. Seeing his opportunity, rushes up, pins Darvin between the rat as Darvin realizes what he just did. Attack. 22 looks like it would be a hit for 5 points of damage. Skeleton runs away. Skeleton runs away. And Kira.
All right, so I can see all the way to that hallway, right? Where the
You
bugbear
can
is.
see. You should be able to see. Yes. You can see. You can see that bugbear, correct?
Yeah, barely.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, he's right. He's right toward the edge of your 60.
All right, seeing him appear and hearing him talk, I'm gonna move up to here, and I'm gonna cast Earthen Grasp. So, I imagine it's like you said, it was all that like fertile soil around there. So, through the fertile soil, you're just gonna see like this creepy hand start weaving its way towards the bugbear's gross leg.
Bugbear's gross leg. He would like very much not to be grabbed by that. Strength save? He does not make his strength saving throw. And would take 2d6 damage from you, I believe.
Indeed. So I'm looking at this hallway, and like, could a 5 foot be the whole pass, or is that not?
So you can position a 5 foot in between two squares, so it fills half of each square. So that could fill basically those two spots he's in.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
And that's a lot of damage. He does not look at all pleased to be restrained and squeezed by the earthy hand. Any additional movement actions?
No, she just, you're not going anywhere.
Uppity food. Izzy, that brings it around to you. Now, Izzy, you've got a rat beside you, a dead rat on the other side, a skeleton nearby, and a bugbear up north.
She's gonna try to help her friends out. Go for this guy.
And that rat is surrounded, so you do have advantage. A 16 will hit that rat. Go ahead and roll damage. 4 points of damage will leave that rat standing.
But
the sneak attack finishes him off. Bloody rat pile on the ground.
so she'll leave that, take a step, and turn and swing at the skeleton over there.
Skellebones just gets away with that 12. You do not hit him.
Tried.
Any additional movement, action, etc.?
No, she's gonna hang there.
You got it. Thara brings it around to you. Bugbear way to the north. One's aggressive skeleton remaining. 2 fleeing skeletons in the corners.
Yeah, looking like they've got all this middle ground stuff tied up here pretty handily. Just really the skeleton's the only real threat left. And seeing that that Kyra's locked him down up there, she'll cast her blades to the ground, pull out her bow, knock an arrow, and just take a straight shot right at the bugbear.
Straight shot north at the bugbear. Bugbear is restrained.
Do I get advantage for that, or?
He restrained, I believe you do. 1 second.
I feel like maybe, but I'm not sure.
I usually play it that, like, if they can't move, like, they don't get a dex bonus because they can't dodge.
Attack rolls. Attack rolls against the creature do have advantage. So yes, you have advantage.
Good to know. Advantage. Thwip.
You didn't need it, but you got it.
For 10 points.
Oh. That is a hearty thwack of the arrow into the bugbear. But he's still standing. Well, he was still standing until I put him for negative 100 damage.
It's fine if you want to do that. I'm not going to complain.
That's a little better. But he is a hurting pup. But he is not down yet. Any additional action, bonus action, etc.? No, I'm just going to draw another arrow and sight it down on him. You got it. That brings us to Malik. Sean, the rats that were on either side of you have been destroyed. There is a skeleton on the far side of Darvin, or there's the bugbear who's just about 15 feet to the north, who's been throwing javelins at you. Now restrained by a earthen hand and spouting an arrow.
Oh yeah, I wanna fuck that bugbear up.
It seemed like you might. You rush through the north, leaping through the loamy soil towards the bugbear. He is just growling at you, but can't move. You have advantage on the attack.
Nice.
Great axe again.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Great axe. Anything special? I don't know if you have anything special to use. But it's just swing away?
If it hits and he doesn't die, I'm going to use Divine Smite.
Okay, so swinging the great axe.
Oh, baby.
Oh.
And he crits it. And
there we go.
Rolling the crit.
Oh, wow.
Jesus Christ. Is that correct?
Yeah, because I'm a half orc, remember? I do 3d12 plus my strength bonus.
Okay, so you rolled a 9 plus 18, so you did 27 damage with your great axe. He is very dead. Very, very dead. He is, well, I should say he is unconscious. I mean, he could be healed, but I don't think that's very likely. And I just zeroed you instead of him. Click trouble. Put you back there. Get him, zero him. He's unconscious. Yeah, you cleave into that bugbear and leave the axe in him as he falls, and you're just like holding him down against the ground for a moment to make sure he stays there. The rats twitch and die on the ground. The bugbear twitches and dies on the ground. Darvin, it brings it back around to you. You have the skeleton beside you and 2 hiding from you. Advantage is yours, sir.
Yeah, and I'm gonna use Booming Blade, and I'm gonna think for like a half a second before doing it. I was like, well, what if this brings somebody else here? Yeah, but I already used it, so.
And that does hit. And that does do a good chunk of damage, and it does reduce him to a pile of bones upon the floor. Skeleton is no more. Booming Blade does not activate, so you do not hear the horrible, horrible sound. Any additional movement, actions, etc.?
No. I guess, yeah, 1, 2, 3. Well, that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I'll stand next to this guy.
Okay.
Oh, here, sorry.
Skeleton's not happy with that. He'd like you to go away, and he'd like to get away from you, but he can't do anything about it. Kira, that brings it back around to you. Oh, muted?
Just counting.
All the counting.
Darn. I really wanted to move it. That's okay. I guess I'll just... I mean, I think I don't have to move it. As far as I understood the spell, I don't have to move it when the creature dies. I can just keep it there.
It can just sit there, correct. That's my understanding of it.
It says as an action, you can cause it to reach for a different creature or move different spot. Like you can move it even if the creature like is still there. You could have to let it go. It seems like.
But it just stays there if I don't choose to do anything with it, as far as I understand.
Correct.
It. Okay.
As written, yeah.
All right.
So concentrate.
All right. So I'm just gonna shoot at this guy. I'm gonna leave that where it is. I'm going to aim the fire at his face.
Now you'll be shooting through Darvin.
Oy. Okay, move this way. Is this far enough over?
That's fine.
All right, Darvin, move your furry shoulder. So that I can miss it.
That does miss him.
I just singed like the fur collar around his jacket.
You get a little bit of claw from Darvin, a little bit of claw from the skeleton, but nothing that hurt either of them. Any additional movement, action, etc.?
No, that's it for now.
All right. Izzy, that'll bring it around to you.
Yeah, she's just gonna give a quick look around, because there were a bunch of other skeletons. They seem to be down, so she's just gonna stomp her way over this way. And
Okay, now Izzy, just as you start stomping your way over, you get about 3 to 4 steps in, and everyone else might think your stomping's a bad idea because each stomp releases a puff of steam and fetid gas as you mash down this earth and all the decay underneath it. So you smell amazing right now, and your boots are covered. But you realize that the turned over earth is probably only 2 to 3 feet deep. You compact it down about half of that, and then you're kind of springing on to the next step. But you continue on.
Boink, 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 boink. Smack.
And yes, you smack him. And you do quite a bit of damage to that skeleton, and now he's down. Skeleton in the northwestern corner is no more.
Step on its stupid skull.
And you step on its stupid skull. Any additional movement or action from you?
Nope. Just gonna turn around and see how everybody else is doing.
All right. That brings us around to Thara. Thara, last threat standing is the skeleton in the southwest corner. Over by the mangled body of Dern.
Yep, that's fair. For my item interaction, I'm gonna pick up my blades and stow them away. And then just kind of lazily take a couple steps towards this one in the corner over here, sight down on it, and drop an arrow into his head. Or not.
You drop an arrow into where his head should be, but it just sort of goes in the eye socket and back out the hole in the head back. Didn't get enough bone on that one. Any additional movement or action from you?
I'll just move a little closer to right about here, and then that's it.
All right, that brings us back around to Malik. Malik, way across on the other side of the room is a skeleton that remains standing. At your feet, the bugbear lies dead. Between you and the only remaining enemy is about 60 feet of open space. What you doing?
So you said the only target is the skeleton, correct?
Correct. Everything else is down.
Okay. Can I run over and smack him?
Do you have anything that lets you dash and attack?
No.
No. So you could only get to him with a dash, so you could not get the attack off.
Yeah, it's literally in the complete opposite side of the room from you.
Be pretty epic run though to just hear Malik turn after slaughtering him with his great ass.
If you know what, let me put it this way: nobody else has an action. If everybody else wants to hold off and let you get your charge in, it can happen.
I'm fine with it if he slow-mo describes what he does.
I don't know if I could do that. I do have javelins, though.
You do have javelins.
So I could run as far as I could and then chuck it.
Absolutely can do that.
A little impromptu Olympics here.
So you take your run up. You get to about there-ish. You take your run up. You have your javelins. You throw your javelins. Malik has javelin. There it is. No, not with that javelin. And I think you only get one javelin, right? Or
yeah, correct.
So that javelin goes a little wide. You were too amused by how Dern looks upside down, staring out from between his own ankles, and you missed this skeleton. That brings us around to some dying rats, to a dying bugbear, and around to Darvin again.
Really?
That's what happens when you get run away from you. You gotta chase them.
All right, I'll just step to the side and then I'll cast Sacred Flame on it.
Okay.
Good old reliable flame.
Good old reliable Sacred Flame.
Here comes
Dexterity save.
Yep.
Hang on, I think.
So I try to shoot it and I miss. He javelins it and misses.
So it is very hard to hit a skeleton
He
that is trying to climb a wall right now. Yes, he does not take damage from the radiant, so he's still just trying to get away from you guys. And that brings us around to Kira.
Hold up.
All right, so watching him climb away from Darvin and get almost riddled with other damage, I'll just come and try and close one eye, line up my shot, and whiff.
No.
Oh!
This skeleton is making every effort to get away from you guys. He's almost worked his way into the cracks of the wall at this point. If he survives this entire round, he will have successfully escaped through the cracks in the wall. But Izzy, before that could happen,
trying to climb an aquarium and like scrabbling its legs.
it's like wedging its hand into the crack, turning it forearm, turning it elbow. It's almost gone. Izzy, what are you doing?
She's just like, God damn it, you guys! Like, come over this way, and stow a sword for a dagger, and at least try to like.
What are you gonna miss with? Oh,
A 14 will hit. 7 damage to the skeleton. The skeleton snaps out of its fleeing mode and becomes aggressive again, but it has taken a considerable chunk of damage. Any additional actions, bonus actions, etc. If you only threw one dagger, you can usually throw another one.
Yep, I have another one. Fling.
That will work.
Die. Maybe. Hopefully.
That's a good shot. That is just enough to sever its connection with the necrotic energies, and it falls to the ground.
Finally.
All right. Now, the room you are in, now that you guys have been scrambling about it, it appears to be a large garden. It's a fungus garden. Luminescent fungus shedding that violet light you're seeing. It's clinging to the walls and the ceiling of this wide cavern. The air is damp. And it's cooler and much wetter than you've experienced anywhere since you entered the Ashen Plains. There's more water here than anywhere you've been so far. A layer of earth mixed with rotting vegetation, remains of cave animals covers the floor. Several varieties of mushroom and fungi grow on this waste, as well as a few saplings that have not turned into twiglights, but actually do appear to be small plants that have started to come up through that muck and mush. Now scattered about, you have the skeletons in their robes, short swords and short bows on the skeletons, the rats that are now dead, and a bugbear that is dying but not yet dead. Do you plan on stabilizing the bugbear or letting it expire?
I don't know, Izzy's more concerned with getting her daggers back right now.
Okay. If nobody pays attention to it, that bugbear does expire.
Squeeze it again.
So that bugbear expires with a pop. You have a bugbear jelly available to you. The bugbear does have some rather odd-looking headgear on, a giant pair of antlers that he was wearing that you're sure would have been very intimidating had it stayed standing for more than a few seconds. And to the north, you can make out what was probably the bugbear's lair or cave. There are some trophies on the walls and nests where the rats seem to sleep. And to the east, a door which is closed. You can hear some sounds coming from behind the door. It sounds like a lot of clanging, banging, the sounds of metalwork. Oh, who did we lose? Lost Rob.
My nose.
Oh, not the one I thought would go. Give him a second or two here. Sean, you still hanging in?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay. Dum 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 dum.
I want to start flipping through the unfortunate pieces of this bugbear.
All right.
Really? You had to blow him up.
I heard a blip. Rob now being taken out by network problems.
Now streaming.
All right. So the bugbear has on him 2 spears, 6 javelins, a long sword, and a great sword. He seemed to have been well weaponed, but taken out quite quickly. Go ahead and give me a perception check for those who are going to be searching him and his surroundings.
As I'm looking around, I'm going to ask Mistra for a little bit of guidance.
Izzy, you look over the rat's nest and you're like, this is genius. This is how people should sleep. Kira, I think you're distracted by Izzy's obsession with the rat's nest. Darvin, you just catalog everything in a blink. You just kind of turn a slow circle and you're like, yep, I see it all. And part of what you do see is a box that is hidden under the bed. And that box on opening, it's not locked, just sort of tucked away, contains 241 silver pieces and 54 gold pieces. And here is all of what you guys do find. One of the javelins mentioned is currently on the floor halfway between him and where Malik was when he threw it. The area, as you move about it, it's a rough cavern. It's stained and it stinks of blood and animal musk and fur. The glowing fungus exposes most of the details to you, so you do have a fair bit of light. His bed, pile of matted furs, a wide wooden board with weapons affixed to it, and a great cloak of patchy black fur hung on a pole. The 2 large nests made of hair and dry fungus for the rats. And to the north, a small crack that leads downward. And from the reference that the kobolds had given you, and the smell and the air coming up from it, you would think that this probably leads down to the hunting and the entrance to the Underdark itself. So that would be quite the excursion if you were to head down in that direction.
Interesting.
But it looks like getting down there would require quite a bit of know-how.
We want to check out the metal clanking room first.
Avoiding the Underdark tends to be the smarter idea in any situation.
You know best.
So, moving back into the larger room with the floor made of mulch. The eastern door has noises coming from it. There is a door to the south, but that is silent. The eastern door, it sounds like a very similar sound to when you had drawn close to the kobold living quarters, where you could hear them working on metal, working on leather. The sound of pots banging and things moving around. And this doesn't appear to have been disturbed by the noises that you made in this combat. Oh, hey, he's back.
I was gonna say nobody was responding in the text, so I didn't know what was going on.
Oh, sorry, I missed that part.
Yeah, no, my internet completely died. I don't know what happened. I had to try to. I don't know how well I'm coming through because I am literally talking through a pair of wireless Bluetooth headphones synced to my phone. So,
All right. You guys did successfully defeat the monsters. You have explored the this little bit of an area. It's ticking around 12:15 now, and it seems like we got a lot of network problems. Do we want to pause here, and we will pick up next week and carry on from there? And hopefully, power lines and other random network issues will have been resolved.
We did talk about ending at midnight anyway as the new normal, I think.
Yep.
Also, you want to know something? The lights on my house just came back on.
So your lights came back and I lose my internet.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. It's like Harry Potter. Only one of us can live while the other survives. You know.
I guess.
So we will take that as the sign to wrap it up there. You guys have descended to the lower level of the Sunless Citadel. You have overcome the Great Hunter Balsag, the Bugbear. You do recognize among the trophies a similar style to the ones you found in the Dragon's Room. So this would most likely be the Bugbear mentioned. At least one of them. Any questions, comments, concerns?
I'll have to get a recap at some point, because the last thing I heard you say was that he had antlers on, and that was the last thing that I heard before my connection dropped.
I think we've got a recording of it, so we can recap off there. But basically, when we pick back up next week, we'll do a quick recap of the room once everybody can see what's there. Fair
enough. The only thing real quick is I would have tried to recover the couple of arrows I shot, and there's some stuff I want to do, but I can get to that next week.
Sure. Arrows are easily recoverable at this point. Right. And you guys have had access to arrows between the kobolds and the goblins and everything else like that.
I refreshed before we came down.
Yeah, you're at a full set.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Then we will break here. We will pick up next week. If anybody thinks of anything along the way, feel free to shoot a note. On that, thank you.